Good afternoon, everyone.
All right. Thank you
It's
so
my
much,
prayer that
Dr.
a more
Castillo.
lasting.
Yes, we are very excited to learn more about the art of storytelling and of course about crisis communication strategies. And of course, to further inspire us, we are privileged to have a message from Dr. Ramat Budiman, a Vice Rector for Research, Innovation, Partnership, and Business of Universitas Terbuka. Let's warmly welcome Dr. Budiman.
Thank you so much. Uh, Mangandang hapon, selamat siang. Uh, the honorable partners from Batangas State University, Attorney Alvin R. De Silva, the Chancellor of Batangas State University, Dr. Vanesh V. Casio, the Vice Chancellor for Development and External Affairs of Batangas State University, Associate Professor Maria Lucia A. Caringal, Dean of the College of Art and Sciences of Batangas State University, Mr. John Albert Silva, our distinguished speaker from Batangas State University. With us from our side, Dr. Meta Isianda, the Dean of Faculty of Law, Social and Political Sciences, Dr. Irsanti Widuriasi, Vice Dean for Academic Affairs, Faculty of Law and Social Political Sciences, Ms. Amelia Yeza Pradipta, our speaker from Communication Department, and my fellow faculty members and students of the Communication Sciences program from Batangas and also from Universitas Terbuka. It is an honor for me to welcome you all to the collaborative and intellectual enriching occasion to join virtual class between Batangas State University and Universitas Terbuka. On behalf of Universitas Terbuka and especially as the Vice Secretary for Research, Innovation, Partnership, and Business of Universitas Terbuka, I would like to extend our warmest greetings and heartfelt appreciation to everyone who has contributed to the realization of this meaningful collaboration. This event marks a significant milestone in our shared commitment to fostering global partnership and advancing knowledge exchange in the field of communication sciences. It aligns with the vision of both institutions to create opportunities for our students and faculty to engage in dynamic cross-cultural learning experiences that broaden perspective and deepen understanding. To our partners from Batangas State University, your esteemed institution has been a beacon of academic challenge, excellence and innovation in the Philippines. We are deeply grateful for the opportunity to collaborate with you and to learn from your outstanding expertise. I especially thank Attorney Alvin R. De Silva, Dr. Vanessa V. Casio, and Associate Professor Maria Lucia Caringa for your leadership and in making partnership a reality. Today's virtual class brings together bright minds from both universities, united by a shared goal to explore, discuss, and contribute to the ever-evolving landscape of communication in the digital age. I'm confident that the insights shared by our distinguished speaker, Mr. John Abel Silva and Ms. Amelia Yeza Pradipta, will inspire us and provide valuable takeaways for our academic and professional journeys. To the students participating today, you are the heart of this collaboration. Your enthusiasm, curiosity, and passion for learning are what drive initiatives like this forward. I encourage you to make the most of this opportunity, actively engage in discussion, and build lasting connection with our peers from across the region. In closing, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone involved in organizing this event. May this joint virtual class be the beginning of a fruitful and long-lasting partnership between our institution, paving the way for more innovative and impactful collaboration in the future. Thank you very much. Selamat siang. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih. Thank you so much for your endearing message, Dr. Budiman, and we are hoping that this is going to be the start of a long partnership with Universitas Terbuka. And of course, thank you so much for Dr. Castillo for your insightful contributions for the opening of our program. Of course, for now, we are going to introduce our esteemed speakers. And for us to give us the introduction of our first speaker this afternoon, I would like to invite Mrs. Berna Grace A. Padua, our program chairperson for a Bachelor of Arts in Communication program
For
at
now,
Batangas
we
State
are going
University.
to introduce
Miss Padua, the
our
spotlight is
esteemed.
yours.
Thank you so much, Sir Ellie. Am I loud and clear po?
Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. It is my honor to present to you our first speaker from the BA Communication program of Batangas State University, Lipa campus. So our first speaker is a media and communication related lecturer of our campus and also serving as a lecturer in STI College, Lipa. He is a certified research specialist, certified by the Visionary Research Association Incorporated. He is a registered writer, editor, and literature educator of the National Book Development Board of the Philippines. He graduated with a degree of Bachelor of Arts in Communication in BatStateU Lipa campus and currently finishing his Master of Development Communication at BatStateU Pablo Bourbon campus. Ladies and gents, let us welcome with a virtual hand our first speaker, Mr. John Albert Silva. A virtual hand of applause, please. Thank you.
All right, guys, let's give him a virtual hand of applause. And of course, thank you so much, Ma'am Berna. And for now, we are eager to hear from our first speaker, Mr. John Albert Silva, of course, a colleague of mine. As of course, he delves into the fascinating world of storytelling with his topic, Beyond the World, the art of storytelling. So, sir, please take the floor.
Okay, so good day everyone, especially to Universitas Terbuka and Batangas State University TNEU Lipa campus. So thank you for inviting me. So uh, let me share my screen. Oh, unfortunately, I can't share my screen. Can I share my screen to technical team?
Sir Albert, can you share your file to our technical team so they will be able to share
Sure.
screen? Thank you, sir. All right, while waiting, our first speaker this afternoon, of course, I know you guys are excited to learn more about the art of storytelling. You know, our life is full of stories, right? So we are hoping that, of course, everyone will listen carefully and, apply whatever Sir Albert will teach us this afternoon. This is not about learning in the classrooms, in the four corners of the classrooms. Of course, it will also be our learning for our lifetime. So we are really hoping for your participation. And of course, thank you so much for Universitas Terbuka for giving us the opportunity as well to share our knowledge in the communication department of Batangas State University. Thank you so much, everyone. All right. So as per checking here, I think for this afternoon we have already 79 participants, both from Indonesia and from the Philippines. So I hope this number will continue to increase. And I think the screen is ready now. So go ahead, Sir Albert.
Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. And once again, a good day, everyone. So please bear with me as I'm still recovering from fever today. However, this won't decrease my excitement to share my presentation on story writing, a skill crucial for us as communication students and practitioners. I also apologize for not being able to turn on my camera at the moment. Okay, so next, please. Okay, so are you a fan of K dramas, anime, or Western TV series? Since today we're going to explore the art of storytelling or story writing in Asian and global contexts, diving into how Korean, Japanese, and Western writers craft their stories. By the way, I'm J.A. Silva from Batangas State University. So our lecture covers K-dramas, anime, Western TV series, and essential tips for screenwriting. These topics are very light and focus more on appreciating the creative process of writers. Next, please. Okay, in overview into the introductory phase, storytelling is a universal art form that bridges cultural divides, resonating with audiences worldwide. Each medium, K-dramas, anime, or Western TV series, infuses its narratives with distinctive cultural values and themes and traditions. These unique perspectives enrich these stories, offering fresh emotional experiences and insights into diverse ways of life. Well, I can say that K dramas, anime, and Western TV series really offer new experiences since they innovate the way of storytelling right now by breaking the stigma and outdated culture that we have. Next, please. And now, let's move to Korean drama and understand the emotional depth and their cultural nuance. Next. Okay. So to the fans of K-drama here, we can see that the length of K-drama is usually limited to 16 to 20 episodes, which is somehow narrowed down into 8 to 10 episodes now. These formats keeps the plot focused and ensures every episode drives the story forward. It's like getting a complete emotional journey with a clear start, middle, and satisfying ending. Like how in their romantic comedy or rom-com, they establish the two contradicting characters but eventually met in between. We can also see this plot in their school setting romance, like Mr. Popular versus Miss Unknown. Next, please. So, in the character driven, storytelling often centers on characters and their journeys, diving into their emotions and relationships. Themes like family dynamics, romance, societal expectations, and personal growth create relatable and engaging narratives. These focus on character development allows audience to connect with their struggles and triumphs on a personal level. And character development is one of the strengths of K drama, like how the character develop their beliefs or the their attitudes all throughout the series. That makes us appreciate the characters and understand their motives in life. Next, please. And about the cultural context, one of the good things about K drama is that they depict their culture in every series they have through their culture in school setting, workplace, and their house. As a creator, they show how they live and overcome every challenge in every K drama. And this culture, somehow, we adapt. Like it serves as an eye opener to the other possibilities in life. Next, please. So here are some of the famous K-dramas that depict cross-cultural characters in the K-dramas, like Crush Landing on You, that depicts the cross-cultural family in K-dramas like Hi Bye Mama, historical fiction in Scarlet Heart, and lastly here is the Hotel de Luna, which showcases the complexity of love and humanity. So I believe other than these K dramas in front of you, there are still a K dramas that you also like or favorite, and I'm I'm happy to read in the comment section later. And then next, please. And now from South Korea, let's go to Japan, where they narrate their stories visually and with unexpected genre innovation. Next, please. We can say that K drama and anime and other examples that we have today is very different from anime because these one focus more on visual or in animation. But when it comes to the visual aesthetic, there's no doubt that the visual aesthetic of anime is a top tier since they study every element they put into creating something, like how the color palette to sustain the story. Anime uses striking visuals to tell its stories, featuring exaggerated expressions, vivid colors, and imaginative worlds. These artistic choices heighten the emotional impact, making characters, feelings, and actions more relatable. The unique art style also reinforces the themes, bringing depth and meaning to the narrative. One of the examples that emphasizes the visual aesthetic is Studio Ghibli, because they totally bring us to different worlds through their visuals and storytelling. Next, please. And when it comes to the genre diversity, anime is a highly versatile medium that spans a wide range of genres, including action, romance, fantasy, horror, and slice of life, often blending these elements to create rich and engaging narratives. What sets anime apart is its focus on deep philosophical themes and complex characters, exploring topics like identity, morality, and the human condition. Japanese storytelling often intertwines thrilling plots with emotional depth, offering viewers both entertainment and thought-provoking experiences. So this combination of genre diversity and a meaningful storytelling makes anime appealing to audiences with varied taste and interest in cinema. Next, please. And when it comes to the thematic complexity, anime frequently delves into themes of identity, existentialism, morality, and personal growth, offering narratives that range from introspective to thought provoking. It stands out for its ability to balance light-hearted moments with dark, profound storytelling, often addressing complex societal issues with bold and nuanced perspectives. This versatility allows anime to resonate with diversity audiences, offering both entertainment and deep reflection on the human experience. Next, please. And the last part in the anime here is the Japanese or the cultural insights, which the Japanese culture deeply influences anime, shaping its themes around concepts like honor, perseverance, relationships, and spirituality. Honor often drives characters' decisions, reflecting the cultural importance of integrity and duty, while perseverance embodies the never give up mindset, central to Japanese values. Relationships are portrayed with a strong emphasis on community, family, and bands, highlighting the collective over the individual. Spirituality frequently weaves into stories, drawing from Shinto and Buddhist traditions, exploring connections between humans, natures, and the supernatural. This cultural foundation enriches anime narratives, giving them a unique depth and authenticity. And next, so this one here is the examples of the anime like Black Clover, Solo Leveling, Kaiju Number 8, and Demon Slayer stand out because their characters feel relatable and grounded despite the fantastical settings. These series feature protagonists who embodies qualities like perseverance, ambitions, and self-doubt, reflecting struggles and aspirations that resonate with viewers today. Their journeys of growth and resilience mirror real world challenges, making them both inspiring and easy to connect with. And next, so this is the another type of a series, TV series that we have. So from Korea to Japan. So let's go to the western part. So now from Asia, let's go to the western part where we're going to talk about the complex narratives and diverse voices. Next, please. So Western TV shows, especially on streaming platforms such as the Netflix, Vio, or HBO Go, and other platforms, excel in long-term storytelling, which allows for complex character arcs and layered subplots. These narratives unfold over multiple seasons, giving viewers time to connect deeply with the characters. This format creates a richer and more immersive viewing experience. Next, please. When it comes to diverse themes, many Western series delve into themes such as family dynamics, societal structures, politics, and more moral ambiguity. They often focus on morally complex characters, highlighting the struggles between the right and wrong. This makes the storytelling both thought provoking and emotionally engaging. Next, please. And when it comes to the episodic versus serial, Western shows vary between episodic formats with self contained episodes and serial formats that follow a continuous storyline. The latter allows for a cohesive narrative where each episode contributes to a larger plot. This approach contributes to a larger plot that fosters long-term audience investments in the characters and their journeys. And next, please. And the impact of these Western in the global appeal, streaming platforms like Netflix have revolutionized Western TV by making it more inclusive and representative of diverse voices. That's why in Netflix, for example, we have there the Asian movies or TV series right now, and these shows now reflect a wider range of cultural experiences and stories. This inclusivity has broadened their appeal, and relevance to a global audience. And next, please. And here are some of the examples that I've already watched in different streaming platforms: Game of Thrones, Foundation, A Discovery of Witches, and The Wheel of Time. All blend intricate world building with complex character dynamics, though their tones and themes differ. So, for example, Game of Thrones focuses on political intrigue and morally ambiguous characters in a gritty, medieval inspired setting, while Foundation explores futuristic themes of science, philosophy, and societal collapse. In contrast, a discovery of witches and the Wheel of Time emphasize the magic and methodology, so intertwining romance and personal growth within their epic fantasy narratives. Next, please. Okay, so now we're going to compare some of the existing TV series here in the Philippines and from the other countries such as the South Korea or K-drama, and in Japan and China, and in Western and other countries. So these TV series are living proof that we are inspired by what we watch and try to make it on our own or adopt it. Like The Broken Marriage Vow and What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, are the famous Filipino teleserye or TV series that was adapted in K-drama. The Apothecary Diaries, on the other hand, is the original anime that talks about the Chinese culture, yet it was created by the Japanese animator. And lastly, The Poor Things, which breaks all forms of stigma we have, especially to the women. Next, please. And upon searching, I also noticed some interesting TV series adaptations from Indonesia to the Philippines and vice versa. For example, the Filipino film Kita Kita 2017, a Filipino movie, a romantic comedy drama, was adapted in Indonesia as Kinta Ito Buta. Sorry if I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, which translate to Love is Blind. Similarly, the hit Filipino drama series Kadenang Ginto 2018, known for its intense family drama and rivalry, inspired the Indonesian adaptation Putri Mahkota 2020, which means Crown Princess. These adaptations highlight how stories can transcend cultural boundaries with local twists and nuances added to resonate with each country's audience. So, next, please. I believe we have a lot of a lot of comparison and especially in the culture and the language, the Indonesian and the Filipinas. That's why the movies are or the TV series are more alike. And when it comes to the conclusion, the art of story writing in Asian, K-drama, and anime and global context showcases how diverse storytelling methods can evoke deep emotional responses, highlight cultural narratives, and engage audiences on universal themes. And next, please. And here we're in the last part of the presentation. So I have here 5 essential tips for screenwriting. Now, so the first one here is a focus on structure. Why is focusing on structure important? A well thought out structure helps avoid plot loopholes and creates a strong foundation for your story. It ensures consistency and supports the development of your characters and themes. Next one, show, don't tell. Engage your audience by immersing them in the story. Use vivid descriptions and figurative language to make your narrative colorful and visually appealing. Instead of stating facts, let the readers experience the emotions and events through actions and sensory details. Next, please. Create dynamic characters with clear goals. Characters should be dynamic and realistic, not perfect. Flawed, relatable characters facing challenges are more engaging and believable. Allow your characters to grow and evolve through their hardships, making them feel human. Next one, please. And write strong dialogue. Memorable dialogue often outlasts the plot in the audience's mind. To craft strong dialogue, make it authentic and emotionally resonant. Words should carry meaning and intention, going beyond mere communication to reflect the character's personality and emotions. And next, please. Master the art of visual description. So, great writing isn't achieved in a single attempt, but through practice and learning, improve your visual descriptions by observing, reading, and writing regularly. Draw inspiration from films and other forms of storytelling to enhance your ability to create vivid, immersive scenes. And next, please. Okay, so we're done. So this quotation from C.S. Lewis, you can make anything by writing. So I believe I'm done. So thank you for listening. So do you have any question?
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Albert. Yeah, that was very insightful um, lesson of storytelling. Yeah, I believe, sir, our questions will be we will be having our open forum later on. So we will be having or we will be accepting questions later after our second speaker will give her presentation. But of course, I very much insights, of course, especially the art of storytelling. It is timeless. It connects us all, right? But of course, as we turn out our attention to the evolving world of storytelling, not only K dramas, anime, and of course, including some dramas adapted by both Philippines and Indonesia. Right. So thank you very much. And for everyone who are here present this afternoon, our attendance link, our Google Form link, is posted in our chat box. If you, of course, don't, you have to, if you want to, please click our link for your attendance. All right. Thank you very much. And thank you, Sir Albert. I think we will proceed to our next uh, part of the discussion. All right. For the next part of this discussion, we will be having our um, introduction of our next speaker. Of course, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker, our second speaker, and of course, to the honors for that, let us welcome Miss Reisita. Okay, we have Ms. Resita Rakmawati Rosadi from Universitas Terbuka's Department of Communication to introduce our second guest speaker.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Eli, right?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I will now introduce our second speaker from Universitas Terbuka. Her name is Amelia Yeza Pradipta S. Hum, MSE. She is a lecturer of communication for the Faculty of Law, Social and Political Sciences at Universitas Terbuka. She received her bachelor degree in French literature from Universitas Indonesia in 2017 and her master's in communication from Universitas Indonesia in 2022. Before joining Universitas Terbuka this year, she was one of the adjunct lecturers for Universitas Sriwijaya from 2022 to 2023. She is teaching classes related to mass communication. So, Miss Amelia, I welcome you to the webinar and please proceed with your lecture. Thank you.
Very much, Mrs. Kaisita, for the warm
All
welcome
right,
and
thank you so
introduction.
much.
Shall I begin?
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Batangas State University and Universitas Terbuka for this joint virtual class. Hopefully, our event today will lead us to many wonderful collaborations in the future. And I also would like to thank the audience for being here today. So, as introduced before, my name is Amelia Yeza Pradipta. You can call me Amelia. Um, my presentation today is actually based on a conceptual research that my colleagues and I have done recently. In regards to the presentation, okay. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so my topic today would be about crisis communication strategy in the face of consumer boycott. Evidently, a crisis communication strategy is needed in dealing with any sort of crisis. For this particular research that my colleagues and I have done, we decided to narrow the lens a little bit by exploring crisis communication strategy in a specific kind of situation as stated by the title. We will be exploring the boycott case of Israel affiliated companies and brands. Though I do have to admit it is undoubtedly a hot button issue at the moment, we won't be delving too much into the historical and the political aspects of it, as we will be discussing more about what kind of strategy should companies use in dealing with consumer boycotts, especially considering nowadays social media has made it very easy for grassroots movements and campaigns to take place. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Now, to provide a little background of what my presentation is today, the most well-known consumer boycott at the moment is perhaps boycott campaign launched to protest the occupation of Gaza City and also the atrocities that is committed against the Palestinians. As we have known, this boycott is not only supported locally but also globally. For example, here in Indonesia, the Indonesian Ulama Council has issued a fatwa of condemnation, as well as urging Muslims and everybody else to avoid buying products and using the products affiliated with Israel. Furthermore, there are also movements such as the BDS movement, which has also been adopted locally. It is also interesting to point out that the widespread use of social media has made it very easy for campaigns and grassroots movements to spread all over the world, as we can see in this particular case. We've all probably seen many social media posts all over X or Twitter, Instagram, and also TikTok asking people to stop buying products from any Israel affiliated brands and companies. Now, when consumers boycott, the goal is often to damage the company's image and reputation in hope for a change in practice. Consumers would not only stop purchasing products and services from these companies, but they also would urge other people to no longer support them in any way. Now, obviously, companies affected by boycotts are facing a very tough battle to rehabilitate their image and also to rebuild their reputation again in order to gain back the sales and also the customers' loyalty and trust. Therefore, A carefully planned crisis communication strategy is not only needed, but it is the one thing that they must do. Next slide, please. Now, before we understand further about how exactly a good crisis communication strategy should be done, we first need to understand what exactly is a crisis. So, Coombs defines crisis as an event or series of events, plural. So, it could be a singular thing or a multiple kind of things that occur unexpectedly and then affect the organization negatively. Now, based on this definition, we can understand that a crisis can be unpredictable, and a crisis comes with unpleasant situation for the companies affected. We also need to understand that with the changing landscape of media due to the technological advancement, dealing with crisis can be a very new experience. It is a whole new world out there. According to Lucinda and Jin, social media especially can create new challenges, but also new opportunities different from the previous era of media. Considering the widespread use of social media and its ability to deliver messages very quickly and also very vastly, it has now become the new hot medium for any forms of negative communication. As we can see, if we have any complaints about some products, we can immediately make a tweet and then everyone can immediately see them. That means the presence of social media has allowed crises to emerge and spread faster than ever before. Now, based on the conceptual research my colleagues and I have done, an appropriate crisis communication strategy in regards to dealing with consumer boycott needs to consider three main aspects. The first is the importance of communicator in crisis communication strategy, the communicator itself. Secondly, sending the right message as a crisis communication strategy, the message, and then the third and last one is the role of media in crisis communication strategy, the media that is used. Next slide, please. Okay, next we will be talking about communicators. Now, communicators are a crucial aspect in crisis communication strategies. It is especially important when the crisis comes from the consumer regarding humanitarian or social reasons, such as the ongoing Israel and Palestine conflict, and also the atrocities that's happening. In order to minimize the impact of the crisis, it is important for companies affected to carefully decide who will be the communicator or the communicators based on when and how should they deliver the responses. One of the efforts that companies must make as communicators is to minimize the impact of the boycott crisis by taking over the stage before the crisis gets worse. In this case, company must be able to understand how the public interprets the situation. And then communicators must also be able to detect signs of crisis quickly. And then they also have to be able to determine which channel the crisis first appears in. If the crisis occurred on Twitter, then they need to carefully plan an action, a strategy to how to respond to that crisis. And then afterwards, it is also the communicator's role to control the narrative, to make sure that things do not get out of control. Now, who can be the communicator in this context? Well, besides the company's representative themselves, utilizing resources from opinion leaders can also be an option for communicators in designing crisis communication strategies to deal with consumer boycotts. Opinion leaders in this case can be, for example, influencers, religious leaders, and also public figures. Next slide, please. All right, the next one we will be talking about the message. When it comes to dealing with crisis from consumer boycott, the message needs to be written and delivered accordingly as the main goal is to avoid making the crisis worse. We do not want things to get out of control, the narrative to get out of hand. In order to do this, the first thing the companies need to understand is what exactly is the root cause of the boycott campaign. If we are talking about Israel affiliated brands and companies, then two things may come up. First, the root cause is how the companies and the consumers no longer have the same views regarding ethics and morality. Secondly, the companies also need to understand that these differences are a result of the consumers feeling a sense of solidarity towards the side that what the consumers assume the companies may not be so fully on board with. For example, companies affected by the boycott crisis need to understand that the boycott campaign is the result of consumers feeling solidarity with the Palestinians. They feel bad for what's happening to these people. So, how should we frame the messages then? We can narrow it down into three main points. The first one is clarification. So, when we are trying to write a message in dealing with boycott from consumers, the message delivered should be able to clearly express the company's stance on the conflict. Is it true that they side with what the consumers believe or not? It is also particularly important if the crisis comes from unverified claims or rumors believed by the consumers. So this way the companies can set the record straight. Secondly, the message should contain a statement of understanding and empathy towards the root cause of the boycott. Does the company show any commitment to correct what the consumers perceive as wrong? Companies then need to acknowledge that what has been happening in the world in an honest manner. They recognize that something terrible is happening and that they are working towards making things better. Now, last but not least, consumers want something that they can see. The message should highlight the company's commitment by mentioning actions that they will do to support their stance. What are the actions? We do not need the talk, we need the action. What do you do? For example, one of my major makeup companies in Indonesia was recently got caught in this boycott issue. So their company, a lot of consumers refuse to buy their products because they perceive that this company is supporting a particular stance. In order to show the company's commitment to humanitarian causes, the company then make a huge donation to show that yes, they are committed to their actions. Next slide, please. All right. Last but not least, we will be talking about the media itself. In this case, it is social media. We first need to understand how social media is used during consumer boycotts. Nowadays, consumers use social media as the main communication channel for the boycott movement due to its capability to quickly and widely spread messages. As I've stated before, it is very easy to make complaints on social media nowadays. There are even apps where we can put our complaints there. So if there's a restaurant that is not serving the right kind of food, we can immediately make comments there. So it is now very easy to show our displeasement towards companies. Now, what the companies need to do is that they need to control the narrative. Social media content can be useful to deliver messages before the Sorry, was that on my end? Is it okay? Is it good to continue now?
Yes, ma'am. Continue, please.
Okay, thank you. So back to our topic, controlling the narrative. Now, with the use of social media, it is not just the consumers that can use these apps or platforms. Companies may also take advantage of them to deliver messages before the crisis gets out of hand. So it is important to deliver the messages at which social media platform the crisis started as soon as possible. So if the crisis first appear on Instagram, then the companies need to carefully plan how to respond to that crisis. And the channel that is used is, of course, Instagram, because that's where the crisis first emerged. And then, of course, we should never forget that a careful planning is very needed. Timing of social media content delivery, using hashtag campaigns at the right moment, uploading social media content that reflects the company's brands or the social issues. Timing is very important because it is as if that time moves very fast on social media. We tend to forget things very quickly with what social media is having today. So a company needs to really carefully plan when they deliver the message. If it is too long, then the customers might not be so pleased. If it is too quick, then the customers or the consumers may think that they did not carefully plan the message. There are chances that we may miss some of the complaints from the consumer. And then, of course, afterwards, electronic word of mouth. Word of mouth on social media platform can also be used as an additional mean to disseminate information quickly to the public. However, we also need to carefully remember that the source, the quantity, and the quality should be taken into consideration. If we ask, like, I think in Indonesia we call them like buzzers. They're like people paid to make a lot of contents on social media to flood hashtags with a lot of um, content. We also have to be very careful with that. If it is too much, then the consumer may get suspicious that maybe things are not what they see. So we have to be very careful with the quantity, also the source. Again, back to the communicators, if we want to use opinion leaders such as influencers and public figures, we also probably need to consider how their reputation currently is. If they are not so popular among the internet users, then maybe the message might not be delivered so well. So we also have to take into considerations of the the person who delivers the message on social media. And then with the platform, of course, we nowadays know there are various platforms of social media. There's Twitter or X, there's Instagram, TikTok, and also companies may use their official websites to deliver these messages. Next slide, please. Okay, now we are reaching the conclusion part of my presentation. So, what kind of strategy should we use in dealing with a consumer boycott? So, we can sum up this into 4 main points. There are several communication strategies carried out by companies to minimize the impact of the crisis at large. In this case, 3 main points, are things that we need to consider: the communicators, the message content, and also the media. These 3 things will become an important part in developing a crisis communication strategy. First, the communicators plays an important part in the strategy. As the communicators, companies can minimize the impact of the boycott crisis by responding very quickly and also very openly. They have to be honest, and they also have to maintain back and forth between them and the consumers. They are open to criticism, and they are also willing to answer them. And then secondly, the message conveyed during a crisis shall clarify the company's position in socio-political issues, emphasize inclusiveness, diversity, and positivity, as well as be delivered in honesty. Since we're talking about brands affiliated with Israel, then these companies need to acknowledge that yes, something bad is currently happening. We feel sorry for them. We feel great empathy towards people affected, and we are open for more criticism, and also open for what they can do to make things better. And then lastly is the media itself, or the media. Social media as the medium can be used to reduce the negative impact of boycott crisis by understanding how it works, creating a strategic plan based on its features, and also carefully controlling the narrative. Social media can also now be taken advantage of by the companies to then deliver messages straight from them to the consumers. So no more third parties or anything like that. All right. I think that's about it for the presentations of my topic. Thank you very much for these opportunities. I will return this to the host. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Amelia, for sharing with us your research. I know this is a really hot button issue right now, Israel and Palestine. Yeah, and the presentation was, of course, thought-provoking presentation, and we really appreciate you for sharing us your insights about it. And I think the floor is open. So, guys, if you have questions or if you'd like to ask anything, feel free to type your question in our chat box, or you can also raise your hand or use our raise hand feature here in our Zoom, so we can start now addressing your questions. And of course, for those who will be raising their hands, I'll be calling them to engage live with our speakers. And I would like to reiterate again, our attendance link is in our chat box again. So if for those who have not yet, you know, filled out their attendance for this event, please do now as part of this event and join our joint online virtual class or our joint online class with Universitas Terbuka and Batangas State University. So now again, our virtual floor is open for questions and answer. Okay, so there's a question here. Hello, everyone. My name is Rizky from Universitas Terbuka. I would like to ask, is there any tips on how to effectively deliver visual representation in writing without using too many words? As sometimes when I read a novel, I would find the author tends to use too many descriptive words, which, in my opinion, ended up making the scene lose its rhythm. Thank you. Wow, that's a wonderful question. I think this question is um, being asked to our first speaker, Sir Albert. Are you still there?
Okay, so that's a good question, by the way. So I think it is a case to case basis about this one. Is there any tips on how to effectively deliver visual representation in writing without using too many words? Okay, I believe this is a case to case basis when it comes to the writing, especially on a novel, particularly novel or a short story, because the foundation of a novel or a short story is its words. And using its words, uh we need to be we need to use a figurative languages or words as much as possible to represent or to 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 immerse our readers to our story. But if our novel, or for example, I am currently writing my story, which is entitled the Floating City, and one of the practice that I am practicing right now is putting some image or photos for that the reader or the audience can visualize it to themselves. So through that, we can limit our words. So I think that that's all.
Okay, so I hope the question was answered by our first speaker. All right, thank you so much. Then we have from Universitas Terbuka, Kupang. Go ahead.
Hello, Kak. My voice is clear?
Yes, sir, your voice is audible.
Yes. Hello. It's the question is for Miss Amelia especially. I really love to hear the story. It's really great and open some insight for me actually. And I'm actually doing content creator. Also, I did I think I started since 2020. So I doing content about like advocating for disability awareness in my area. Especially, I came from East Nusa Tenggara, by the way, the province, islands of it. And it's really, I think it's a part of rural area. So the perspective of disability is still like uh, decrease, still like lack of insight from the community, from the people. And it's really hard to advocate the people about it, especially if you go into the like small village or rural area. So in here, they still doing. I can say that like charity concept for people with disability. So using a pity, empathy when they see someone with disability, they will like, okay, we need to feel empathy for them. But however, I advocate about the independent of disability itself. So through the social media, I'm using for advocating. But since 2020, I feel like have nothing like really good feedback from that. But I still doing it. But however, it's just can you give me some insight that might be I missed maybe about it, like how to advocate people using social media, especially about the kind of issue that yeah, I think it's a little bit sensitive issue, especially in rural area. That's gonna be my question. Thank you.
Um, should I immediately answer or is that
Go
okay?
ahead.
Okay. Thank you for the very interesting questions, Ms. Willie. Yeah, Ms. Willie. Yeah, I find it very interesting because Willie here, his work is really involved with social issues and also humanitarian causes and disability. Is that right? Sorry, I think.
I think we have lost
Yeah,
him.
I think we have a little bit of a connection issues on his end, but yeah, I would say that it is a very interesting questions regarding social media use. Um, Obviously, nowadays we have plenty of examples how social media can be used for something good. We can use it to create awareness regarding disabilities, regarding people with disabilities. We can deliver informations about their lives very easy nowadays. I do have to admit that it can be a tough challenge to inform people that lives in more rural area because maybe the connections there is not so good and also social media is not as widespread being used there. But um, I do think that maybe nowadays more young people, regardless of where they live, have started to use social media. So I would say that my advice is um, maybe carefully pick the audience that is appropriate for social media use. So since social media is more happening with like young people, maybe Mas Willie can use social media to deliver messages about people with disabilities to a slightly younger crowd instead of older or mature people. And I would say since I'm not exactly a content creator, so maybe my advice uh, may not be so fit for what you're looking for, but based on my own observations, you can also learn from other content creators or also other people in different areas how they use social media to spread awareness about particular issues. In your case, it's disability. So you can maybe do a little bit of a research of how other people in maybe other countries or maybe other regions, how they use social media to spread awareness. And then perhaps you can carefully pick and choose and then plan your own strategy to how to implement that in Kupang. Um, Basically, you can do research but also then combine them with your own experience, and then you can decide what is the perfect plan to deliver these messages to the people that live in your area. I would say that's that's my suggestions. I hope that is clear enough. Since I'm not a content creator, I'm probably not so familiar with the actual um, in the actual implementations of that, but I would say that you can do research, but also keep in mind your own experience throughout this journey as someone who works in these particular areas. I would say that is my answer. Thank you very much for the questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Amelia. I hope, Willie, Amelia has answered your question. Or do you have any follow up questions for Amelia? But also, I'd like to share that Indonesia and the Philippines, I think we both share the challenges of social media. The rural areas don't have access, most of the rural areas don't have access to the internet. So, this is a problem. And we are hoping that in the more days to come, and this will be addressed, or this problem be addressed by you know, our authorities. All right. Thank you so much. And I think there's another question for Sir Albert. Then the question is, then what is the difference between traditional stories and fiction stories? How to distinguish them? Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for that question. So when we talk about traditional stories, it is a combination of a fiction and non-fiction stories. So basically, it is about on it is about these stories being told. So right now, the the difference or the new ways of storytelling is the issue on how we tell this story. For example, if we tell this story in traditional way or in modern way. But basically, the traditional storytelling is about a fiction and non-fiction. But if we talk about the storytelling itself, it is how we deliver the story. So I hope I've answered the question.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sir Albert. I hope Ocha of UT or Universitas Terbuka, I hope Sir Albert was able to answer your question. If you have follow up questions, you can still send your questions here in our chat box. And for other participants, we encourage you to ask questions. If you have more questions, then this is of course, you are free to ask questions to our speakers for this afternoon. Okay, so I think no more questions. Maybe I will be asking the last question. I think this is for Amelia. I am very much interested with your topic, ma'am. And of course, as I've said a while ago, this is a really hot button issue. What were the challenges that you faced while doing this research with your colleague? Especially Indonesia is um, um, a Muslim what do you call that? A Muslim country. Majority of Indonesians are Muslim.
Thank you. Thank you. That is a very interesting question as well. As I've stated before, since it is more a conceptual research, so we have not actually done on-field research yet regarding this topic, but what essentially my colleagues and I have done is that we collected previous research regarding crisis communication and strategy, particularly when a brand or a company is facing with consumer boycotts. And then we applied that into analyzing the current conflict between Israel and Palestine. I would say the challenge that we face is that at first we think that maybe there's a fourth part of the strategy. So if we remember the how communications works is that there's communicators, there's the message, the medium, and then the last but definitely not the least part is the receiver or the receiver of the messages, the audience itself. But after doing our literature research, though we have found several previous research that is trying to understand the audience aspect of it, we then decided that maybe it is not so applicable to the context regarding Israel and Palestine. For example, we did find one journal in particular um, that gives suggestions that maybe brands can switch from selling their products in stores to selling it online. So other consumers from the other parts of the regions that is not affected by these boycott movements can still buy their products. But I don't think that is so applicable in terms of the Israel and the Palestine conflict, because these people, no matter where the products is sold, they still would not buy them because they think that it is against their beliefs or their ethics. So I would say the challenges is that part. We could not find any previous journals or research that is applicable for the receiver part of the communications um, process. So that's why we only end up with the communicators, the medium, and then the message. I hope that answers your questions.
Yes, ma'am, indeed. Thank you so much for answering the question.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I think there's one more question addressed to you, ma'am. Still from Willie, I think. Um, he said, if there are any research plans in the future for communication with sign language for deaf student, I will be happy to volunteer since I am also a sign language interpreter in NTT. Hope to get the opportunity to collaborate as volunteer with you in research. Thank you. Um, I think the question, if there is any research plan in the future for communication with sign language for deaf student.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much for the offer, Mas Willie. It is also very interesting and also maybe not fully explored area of studies regarding sign language. I suppose in communication we can also call them nonverbal communications, but I think it is a separate kind of communications altogether. But yeah, it is a very interesting area of research, and I hope you don't mind, but I would also like to note your name. So if there is any opportunities coming up in the future, I would definitely give you a call. Thank you very much for the offer.
Wow, we already have a volunteer for the for the future studies. Yes, Miss Amelia. Another question. It says from Rizky. It said sometimes when a brand or a public figure being boycotted or canceled, as the time went by, usually would naturally recover from it. Is it simply because of human nature that naturally we'll forget about things? Or rather, is there any theory in communication that can explain this?
Hmm. Oh wow. That I would admit that is a very good question. Um, it is a kind of question that urged me to maybe research about this more and read about this more. But I suppose at the moment I can only give you answer based on my own observation. Is that since public figures nowadays, especially like influencers, we're dealing with them mostly on social media. And as I've stated before, the nature of social media is that since there is so much content, it is pretty much easy for us to forget. Trends comes and goes very quickly nowadays, especially on social media. So it is not rare to find public figures or influencers that got caught up in boycotts or maybe get canceled, as the kids nowadays say. And then they simply recover because people tend to forget very quickly on social media because there is an overload of information that is coming through. So I suppose I suppose that's the answer at the moment. I would like to research about this more, but yeah, since the nature of social media is allowing information to comes and goes very quickly in a large quantities, it is very easy for internet users, including myself actually, to forget some things. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Thank you very much, Risky.
All right. That was a difficult question, but you nailed it. Amelia, thank you very much. And I think we all will do some research about really interesting question. But what communication theory can explain that phenomena wherein we can just forget things, right? As time passes by. Okay. And I think still have questions. Okay. I think questions have already been answered. Thank you everyone for your participation, for your questions, and for for your answers, of course, from our guest among press presenters for this afternoon. As we move on, of course, let's take a moment, of course, to recognize the exceptional contributions of our resource speakers. And I want everyone to give them a virtual round of applause. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so I think we are now in a part of course, giving or awarding the certificates to our presenters. So this is going to be, of course, our certificate of appreciation to Mr. Jan R. Albert Silva and Miss Amelia Yeja Pradipta. Let me read the certificates. The content of the certificate: Batangas State University, the National Engineering University External Affairs Office, Universitas Terbuka, Jakarta, Indonesia. This certificate of appreciation is awarded to Mr. Jan Albert Silva for sharing his time and expertise as resource speaker for the first session of the joint virtual class held on November 26, 2024 via Zoom platform, given this day, 26th day of November 2024. Signed, Attorney Alvin R. De Silva, Chancellor, Batangas State University, the National Engineering University, Lipa Campus, and Dr. Maita Estienda, Dean of Faculty of Law, Social, and Political Sciences, Universitas Terbuka. And of course, the same certificate will be awarded to Amelia. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. And for now, I think we will be hearing an enriching closing remarks from our Associate Professor Maria Lucia A. Caringal, a Dean of College of Arts and Sciences at Batangas State University. Ma'am and Ma'am Dean, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you, sir. A pleasant day to all of you, to our Chancellor, Attorney Alvin R. De Silva, our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Vanessa Castillo, and also to the Vice Rector for Research, Innovation, Partnership, and Business, Dr. Ramat Budiman, and our Dean, Dr. Maika Estianda. Also, good afternoon to the Vice Dean for Academic Affairs, Faculty of Social and Political Sciences, Dr. Ir Santi, and to the other officials of our partner university, Universitas Terbuka. Good afternoon also to our resource speakers, Mr. John Albert Silva, and also to our Miss Amelia Yesa Pradipa. Dear program chairpersons and faculty members, good afternoon. And to our student participants from both universities, thank you for attending. As we come to end our joint virtual class, let me thank also the following persons for today's successful event: the officials of both universities, Batangas State University and Universitas Terbuka, thank you very much. To the officials and staff of our External Affairs Office, both the External Affairs Office of Central and also the External Affairs Office of Lipa Campus. Thank you so much for the coordination. Also to Ms. Berna Grace Adame Padua, and the faculty members of the BA Communication Program. Thank you for the special thanks for our two speakers for sharing invaluable knowledge and insights to us. Thanks to our student participants and also to the other guests for this meeting. This is truly a blessed day for all of us because we learned a lot from our two speakers. And may the things that we accomplished today lead us to more joint virtual classes in the future. You know, we are all very excited to continue this type of collaborative projects. Thank you very much to everyone and good day.
Okay, thank you so much, Dean Karingal, for those thoughtful closing remarks. And of course, to everyone who joined us today, as of course, we deeply appreciate your presence and participation. Maraming salamat at salamat siyang, Indonesia. And before we end our joint virtual class, I would like to request everyone to please open your camera. We will be having our photo opportunity. So if you can open your camera, please do. Okay, our technical team will be taking photos of this joint virtual class. So let's wait for some to open their cameras. Okay, in my count. So wear your most beautiful smiles. Okay. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, let's go to the next screen. Okay, we have two screens here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much to Universitas Terbuka and to Batangas State University, the National Engineering University. Maraming salamat, salamat siyang everyone. And I hope this session sparked meaningful ideas and connections. Until next time, stay and safe and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Sir Ellie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
With Monday.com, every business, no matter the industry or size, can simply work better. Monday.com adapts to every
dialog. Yang ditulis oleh Tempo dan mencoba untuk mencari tahu apa benar dosa Jokowi sebanyak ini.
Kalau emang lu bener duduk dialog
Oke, sebelum mulai mengingatkan sekali lagi bahwa Mensrea akan kembali buka penjualan tiket 10 Januari 2024. Ngomong-ngomong, ini belum resmi diumumin, tapi ada wacana 10 kota nasional penjualannya juga dimajuin ke tanggal 10 Januari, biar sekalian. Jadi nggak perlu ngomong 10 Januari untuk Jakarta, 10 Februari untuk 10 kota lain. Pokoknya 10 Januari, gas, semuanya pada keluar. Enak kan? Wacananya seperti itu, tunggu pengumumannya aja. Tapi yang pasti, selain Jakarta, Bogor, Bandung, Semarang, Jogja, Surabaya, Denpasar, Makassar, Balikpapan, Medan, Palembang akan kembali buka penjualan juga. Rencananya tanggal 10 Januari. Penjualan tiketnya di mensrea.id. Dari sekarang, lu bisa cek mensrea.id untuk melihat harga tiketnya, terus opener siapa, manggungnya di kota, bukan di kota, di venue apa, dan seterusnya. Silahkan cek di situ ya. Oke. Jadi, Pak Jokowi sudah berakhir eranya. Salah satu yang bisa kita lakukan adalah mencoba untuk menilai kemarin itu sebagai seorang presiden Pak Jokowi ini gimana. Tentu ada banyak sentimen yang terkait ya, kayak Pak SBY baru turun juga butuh waktu untuk kemudian kita nengok ke belakang, ternyata Pak SBY nggak buruk-buruk amat ya gitu. Dan butuh waktu untuk kemudian ngelihat ke belakang dan ngelihat Soekarno ternyata kacau juga ya gitu. Kalau Soeharto kan udah ketahuan kacau karena ya diturunin gitu. Nah, warisan dari seorang presiden itu tentu kan adalah negara yang dia tinggalkan. Ya, Republik Indonesia dia tinggalkan setelah dia menjabat, dalam hal ini Pak Jokowi dua masa jabatan, ya itu adalah warisannya. Nah, terus kan kita berangkat, ibaratnya kan Indonesia itu kayak tanah liat yang secara bergantian ditumbuh kembangin. Bung Karno ngambil tanahnya, dibikin lah nih. Bung Karno turun, Pak Harto ngelanjutin. Pak Harto turun, Habibie ngelanjutin. Terus saja, SBY ngelanjutin. Mungkin ada yang dipapah-papah dibuang nih, nggak perlu, bikin begitu terus. Sehingga Indonesia itu adalah si istana tanah liat yang terus bertumbuh, terus direvisi dan terus berkembang. Pertanyaannya adalah setelah orang terakhir ini, Republik Indonesia ini seperti apa? Nah, tentu kita nggak bisa ngelihat dosanya doang, kita harus ngelihat bagusnya doang, bagusnya juga. Dan lu mesti ngelihat wawancaranya Pak Yanuar Nugroho sama Bang Akbar Faisal. Tonton deh, itu bagus banget. Gue dikasih rekomendasi sama temen gue Jesot. Pas gue lihat, gue dengerin sambil lari. Pas gue dengerin, bagus banget ini. 2 kali lari gue untuk merampungkan seluruh episode tersebut, tapi itu bagus banget. Dan di situ Bang Akbar Faisal dan Pak Yanuar Nugroho ini kan dua-duanya kan menjadi bagian dari eranya Jokowi, terutama era Jokowi putaran pertama. Maksudnya bukan putaran pertama, periode pertama, masa pemerintahan yang pertama. Dan dalam podcastnya tersebut banyak diomongin hal-hal positif yang Pak Jokowi lakukan. Salah satu diantaranya yang turunannya adalah 3 buah perpres. Itu adalah usaha Pak Jokowi untuk meringkaskan, mengefisienkan pemerintahan dengan menjalankan digitalisasi pemerintahan dan cetak birunya dari zamannya Pak SBY. Pak SBY udah punya rencana tersebut, lalu dilanjutin sama Jokowi. Ini udah jadi rencana bagus, Pak Jokowi lanjutin lagi dan akhirnya jadi tuh si perpres yang digitalisasi pemerintahan. Terus satu data, dulu kalau lo masih ingat, Kementerian Kesehatan punya data sendiri, terus nanti Kementerian Keuangan punya data sendiri, terus Menpora punya data sendiri. Di eranya Pak Jokowi jadi satu data, semuanya pakai data yang sama, biar nggak biar nggak miss gitu, biar nggak bingung gitu. Sama yang terakhir itu adalah satu peta. Nah, ini gue kurang mencermati ini lanjutannya apa, tapi ada 3 hal tersebut. Intinya dengan 3 perpres ini menjalankan pemerintah tuh jadi jauh lebih ringkas dan itu sangat dibutuhkan. Habis itu yang juga dibahas sebagai sebuah pencapaian adalah memang pembangunan infrastruktur. Eranya PSBY kan selalu dibilang era di mana secara ekonomi Indonesia membaik, makro ya. Dan kalau misalnya kita udah baik secara ekonomi, ya wajarnya adalah kalau udah punya duit, ya lu belanja lah gitu. Dalam hal ini, lu belanja infrastruktur. Nah tentu ada perdebatan soal infrastruktur karena salah satu kekurangannya Jokowi dan mungkin di sini adalah dalam rangka proyek strategis nasional, dalam rangka pembangunan ada banyak yang dikesampingkan. Salah satunya adalah AMDAL ya, intinya analisis terhadap dampak lingkungan atas pembangunan ini atau masyarakat adat ini selalu dikesampingkan. Tapi kalau boleh jujur itu sering terjadi di mana-mana. Setiap kali mau ada pembangunan yang ekstrim pasti demi efisiensi banyak yang dikesampingkan. Kita ingat sebenarnya Pak Jokowi ini dulu dikenal sebagai waktu zamannya wali kota Solo ya. Dia bisa ngegusur pedagang-pedagang liar, dia bisa memindahkan pedagang-pedagang liar tanpa digusur. Tapi itu karena beliau harus menghabiskan 50-an kali makan siang sama pedagang-pedagang itu, 53 kalau nggak salah. 53 makan siang untuk akhirnya pedagang-pedagang tersebut, ayo deh oke deh kita direlokasi. Di Solo mungkin bisa ngelakuin itu, di Jakarta cepet banget pace-nya. Di Indonesia, ini bukan cuma ngomongin pace pembangunan Indonesia yang jauh lebih cepat daripada Solo. Ini ngomongin kepentingan-kepentingan orang yang lebih banyak daripada ketika beliau di Solo. Jadi, metode beliau makan siang 53 kali, nggak bisa. Mana ada warga Pulau Rempang diajak makan siang 53 kali? Nggak ada. Ada banyak pembangunan-pembangunan yang tidak melalui proses dialog. Jangankan itu, undang-undang pun banyak yang tidak melewati proses dialog kayak
With Monday.com, every business, no matter the industry or size, can simply work better. Monday.com adapts to every team's needs and connects departments in one unified workspace, giving the entire organization the ability to zoom out, track all moving parts, and make smarter decisions in real time. Go to Monday.com and start your free trial today.
Cipta Kerja, undang-undang Cipta Kerja, itu kan buru-buru tidak melewati proses sosialisasi dan diskusi dengan masyarakat, walaupun ya kan harusnya kan DPR kan perwakilan di masyarakat ya, harusnya kan kok rakyat nggak diajak ngomong, lah kan anggota DPR itu kan Dewan Perwakilan Rakyat, itu kan wakil loh, itu kan rakyat yang lagi ngomong sama pemerintahan. Ya tapi gue nggak percaya sama DPR, ya kenapa lu pilih? Ya, bukan gue yang milih gitu, ini jadi ribet, emang kitanya juga agak ngaco. Tapi ada banyak laporan yang mengatakan Pak Jokowi itu sangat intens mendiskusikan undang-undang Cipta Kerja, buru-buru jadi tanpa melewati proses dialog dengan stakeholder lain. Ya tapi pada akhirnya infrastruktur lah terbangun. Sebenarnya gue tuh mau bikin video ya, tapi ini kayaknya bukan video sila sih. Gue pengen bikin video tentang berkah Jokowi dalam kehidupan kita pribadi. Aneh nih memang nih, terdengar kayak gue memuji, tapi memang ada berkah dari kehadiran Jokowi terhadap hidup kita. Tapi itu kayaknya video terpisah deh. Tapi ini kayaknya bukan video sila, karena ini ngomongin soal hidup kita gitu, bukan ngomongin politik ya. Politiknya cuma pintu masuknya doang aja, cuma latar belakang masalahnya adalah Pak Jokowi. Tapi Videonya bukan tentang itu, tapi nanti kita bahas lagi. Oke, tapi bagaimanapun, di antara begitu banyak pencapaian, ada 18 catatannya Tempo. Kita bahas coba dari 18 ke 1 ya. Di nomor 18, kebebasan sipil yang menyempit. Ngomong-ngomong, ini ada beberapa pembahasan yang lebih dalam, dan ini gue nggak tahu mau ini kritik atau gimana ya sama Tempo ya, tapi gue bingung. Jadi gue kan nemu artikel ini ya, gue nemunya di online. Gue lagi baca, terus kepentok, mesti berlangganan. Terus gue bilang, kan gue berlangganan Tempo. Gue buka aplikasi Tempo, gue cari nih. Gak nemu-nemu, di majalah gak nemu, di tempo.co gak nemu. Kan kalau lu berlangganan Tempo, lu bisa baca semua majalah, semua koran, semua Tempo bahasa Inggris, semua artikel di tempo.co. Bisa baca deh itu semuanya. Terus gue nyari-nyari, dan gak ada. Lu tau gak kalau misalnya di website terus ada kaca pembesar, terus lu klik, terus lu bisa search gitu kan. Gak ada tuh di app-nya, jadi gue gak nemu. Katanya liputan khusus. Tapi terus nggak bisa search liputan khusus. Bisanya liputan utama. Gue cari liputan utama nggak nemu. Jadi intinya gue nggak nemu kedalamannya. Jadi mungkin nggak sedalam yang seharusnya. Tapi beberapa dosanya ini gue punya opini juga. Kayak kebebasan sipil yang menyempit nomor 18, gue nggak bisa bilang gue tahu lebih banyak ya. Karena di eranya Pak Jokowi itu selama 10 tahun, harus diakuin memang lebih banyak orang ditangkap karena menghina Jokowi. Gue nggak tahu apakah ini yang dimaksud di sini atau enggak. Tapi bukan Pak Jokowinya soalnya yang nangkep, tapi orang lain. Makanya kemudian pasal penghinaan presiden itu yang dikritik sama banyak orang terus direvisi jadi yang bisa melaporkan itu cuma presidennya sendiri. Tapi itu juga bukan indikasi yang baik ya. Dalam hal ini Jokowi memang tidak pernah melaporkan orang dan nggak pernah ada yang ditangkap karena dilaporkan sama Jokowi. Tapi kan presiden Pak Prabowo ya. Jadi kita nggak tahu kalau Prabowo ternyata marah disebut gemoy. Nomor 17, kriminalisasi atas nama proyek strategis nasional. Nah ini beritanya juga ada di mana-mana. Multimedia, berbagai macam media melaporkan soal masyarakat setempat, utamanya masyarakat adat yang kemudian dikriminalisasi gara-gara dianggap menghalangi kebutuhan proyek strategis nasional. Ini banyak sekali dan ini mungkin benar. Nomor 16, konflik agraria, dan ini ada kaitannya juga sama nomor 17, kriminalisasi atas nama proyek strategis nasional. Nomor 15, kerusakan lingkungan. Ini juga sering sekali dibahas karena ada banyak kritik yang mengatakan eranya Pak Jokowi ini pembangunan tuh benar-benar nggak memikirkan dampak lingkungannya. Ini kelihatannya benar. Nomor 14, gimmick diplomasi luar negeri. Ini gue nggak punya opini karena gue nggak ngerti lebih dalam. Terus nomor 13 ini menarik, pemaksaan ibu kota Nusantara. Di wawancara Akbar Faisal dengan Yanuar Nugroho, itu dikatakan bahwa sebenarnya premisnya, ini gue sebenarnya pengen ngajak Pak Yanuar Nugroho muncul ke Skakmat sih. Premis dalam diskusi ini adalah bahwa untuk negara Republik Indonesia bisa maju, pertumbuhan ekonominya itu harus 7%. Terus kita tuh nggak pernah nyampe 7%, pernah di era Soeharto. Tapi itu cerita kapan-kapan, karena yang dilakukan sama Soeharto itu masih jadi alasan pemerintah sekarang, tapi harusnya ditinggalkan. Nanti kita bahas kapan-kapan. Nah tapi gara-gara pandemi, kita tuh minus kalau nggak salah pertumbuhan ekonominya, terus kita membal balik ke 5%. Nah, udah membal balik 5%, terus kita tuh tidak melanjutkan apa yang dibutuhkan untuk naik ke 7%. Malah duit banyak keluar untuk IKN. Makanya tulisannya nomor 13 itu pemaksaan ibu kota Nusantara. Nah banyak orang tahu, gue tuh setuju dengan pemisahan ibu kota pemerintahan dan ibu kota negara. Dari 2016 di stand up gue. Masih ada di YouTube. Judulnya apa ya? Kenapa ibu kota harus pindah ya kalau nggak salah. Dimana gue cerita soal Owak Jawa sebagai pintu masuk untuk ngebahas soal pemindahan ini. Hanya saja kan kemudian yang jadi pertanyaan adalah kenapa harus baru keluar banget dari pandemi di saat kita lagi butuh untuk tumbuh dulu, solid dulu, baru pindah. Kemudian anggaran, kemudian katanya mau pakai duit investasi asing, tapi nggak ada yang mau invest dan segala macamnya. Tapi tetap dijalanin, makanya indikasinya pemaksaan ibu kota Nusantara. Nomor 12 masih ada hubungannya juga, ketergantungan pada utang Cina, tapi gue bukan ekonom dan gue nggak paham, jadi gue nggak akan ngebahas. Nomor 11 nih, runtuhnya independensi Bank Indonesia. Ini juga gue nggak bisa bahas banyak karena gue nggak terlalu ngerti. Nah, nomor 10 nih, karut-marut mengelola APBN. Ini jadi masalah dan dikhawatirkan masih akan jadi masalah nanti di pemerintahan selanjutnya, di eranya Pak Prabowo. Karena kan di dalam APBN ya, dalam posturnya itu kan ada bagian dari APBN yang untuk penyelenggaraan negara, untuk kementerian, ASN dan segala macamnya. Nah bayangin, lo kan ketemu dengan kementerian yang jumlah menterinya terbanyak pasca reformasi, bahkan kalau kita mau ngitung sama wamennya dan segala macamnya, jumlahnya terbanyak di Indonesia dibandingin eranya Bung Karno bahkan. Kementerian baru berarti kan anggaran baru. Lembaga baru berarti anggaran baru lagi. Ada IKN. Ada makan bergizi gratis. Artinya kedepannya ini akan jadi masalah. Padahal kemarin di eranya Pak Jokowi udah dianggap masalah. Nomor 9 menarik. Kegagalan menangani pelanggaran HAM berat. Kalau kita mau objektif, sebenarnya ya, mungkin benar dianggap kegagalan menangani, tapi eranya Pak Jokowi itu untuk pertama kalinya oleh Pak Mahfud MD, belasan pelanggaran HAM itu diakui pemerintah sebagai pelanggaran HAM berat. Tentu Yusril bikin pernyataan lain yang kemudian direvisi sama beliau sendiri, tapi setidaknya diakui sebagai pelanggaran HAM berat itu udah langkah maju, karena abis itu tindakan yang terjadi selanjutnya mengikuti dengan keputusan bahwa memang itu pelanggaran HAM berat. Tapi memang mungkin secara penanganan mungkin gagal. Nomor 8 ini kita semua lihat prosesnya, yaitu pelemahan KPK. Revisi Undang-Undang KPK adalah bukti pelemahan KPK. Masuk ke pemimpin yang dipertanyakan, ini eranya Firly Bahuri itu adalah era di mana, dan ini menurut artikel yang bisa lo baca di mana-mana, bukan menurut gue, era di mana pemimpinnya paling sering, paling banyak atau paling sering ya kena pelanggaran kode etik. Udah gitu kita dengar bahwa ada banyak liputan juga yang mengatakan KPK ini di bawah Firly Bahuri itu dimanfaatkan untuk ngasusin orang-orang yang sekiranya akan jadi masalah bagi pemerintahan Pak Jokowi. Tapi mungkin ilustrasi paling besar terhadap pelemahan KPK adalah TKN ya, tes apa sih yang tes keluarga tes wawasan kebangsaan, TWK itu dia, tes wawasan kebangsaan yang pertanyaannya lu bisa baca semua, pertanyaannya nggak jelas banget, dan orang yang ngajar Lemhanas, orang yang ngajar pemerintahan terkait wawasan kebangsaan itu dipecat. Kok bisa? Ya ujung-ujungnya ya begitu. KPK yang jadi lebih lemah. Sekarang KPK yang tadinya nomor 1 paling dipercaya publik sekarang paling bawah. Saking berubahnya. Nomor 7, politisasi kejaksaan. Ini juga gue nggak punya cerita dan nggak punya opini terkait ini, tapi kita bisa tahu ada banyak kejadian yang menggambarkan kesalahan ini. Nomor 6, watak patron klien kepolisian. Ya, gue harus baca sih untuk ngerti. Nomor 5 nih menarik nih, runtuhnya sistem pendidikan. Gue tahu ada banyak kritik terkait zonasi ya. Tapi kemarin di debat Pilgub, semua calon setuju untuk melanjutin zonasi. Kemarin di Twitter tuh ada protes yang mengatakan di bawah Nadiem pendidikan hancur. Sering bilang, nggak hancur-hancur amat kok, ada yang tetap bagus dan mesti dipuji dan gitu-gitu. Jadi I don't have a say on it. Konflik Papua tak kunjung padam, nomor 4, ini memang terjadi beberapa kali konflik di eranya Pak Jokowi. Nomor 3 berasa banget, TNI di ranah sipil. Apalagi kemarin, siapa namanya, mayor siapa tuh, yang masuk pemerintahan, habis itu dibilang nggak apa-apa kok, nggak usah ngelepas jabatan di TNI. Ini pernah gue bahas juga di Sila soal kembalinya dui fungsi ABRI itu segitu. Kata jenderal siapa? Enggak kok, nggak difungsi, multifungsi. Wah, lebih parah dong. Itu terjadi. Nomor 2, pelemahan institusi demokrasi, dan ini juga kelihatan dengan sembarangnya ya kan, untuk demokrasi bisa berjalan kan butuh beberapa pilar. Hohohihi, salah satu pilar demokrasi. Tapi pilar-pilar demokrasi ini perubuh. Media, sedih banget gue ngelihat kayak Tempo ya, yang menurut gue, ya namanya juga buzzer ya, susah juga. Tempo mah dari dulu ya Tempo. Orang Tempo pernah dibredel, dari dulu Tempo ya Tempo. Tempo mah ngekritik yang perlu dikritik gitu. Cuman sekarang mereka pada marah karena idola mereka yang dikritik. Dulu mereka diem-diem aja karena bukan idola mereka yang dikritik. Jadi permasalahannya itu bukan temponya, tapi siapanya yang lagi dikritik gitu kan. Atau kayak kayak Najwa Shihab yang diserang, bukunya dibakar, walaupun Nana udah pernah mengalami hal-hal yang lebih ekstrim dari itu, tapi kemudian Mahkamah Konstitusi yang digunakan sesuai kebutuhan dan segala macamnya, nyangkutnya ke dosa nomor 1 di catatan Tempo, dinasti dan oligarki politik. Gue rasa penonton gue udah tahu posisi gue terhadap itu. Jadi ada beberapa hal yang gue nggak bisa dalamin karena gue juga nggak paham, tapi memang kebanyakan dari yang dicatat sama Tempo ini bermasalah, masalah yang terjadi. Dan sekali lagi ya, kita kan kayak gini kan karena ya kan kita kan warga negara Indonesia ya, kita kan bayar pajak. Nggak bayar pajak penghasilan, tapi lu beli teh, beli handphone juga udah bayar pajak. Duit lu tuh ada yang diambil sama pemerintah. Jadi kan namanya juga orang ngambil duit gue katanya untuk membangun negara, kan gue juga pengen tahu duit gue yang dipakai tuh dipakai apa sih? Itu kan wajar ya. Makanya dibilang si Panji nih, siapapun presidennya masih aja kelakuannya kayak gitu. Lah, emang namanya rakyat begitu. Tahun 98 waktu Soeharto diturunin, kan gue jadi bagian dari demo, jadi pakai betis ya, tapi gue udah ada di situ. Pasca itu dari mungkin gue nggak terlalu punya opini politik pas Pak Habibie, Bu Mega sama Gus Dur. Tapi ketika SBY, gue udah menjalankan proaktif kan, dan SBY 2 periode, Pak Jokowi 2 periode, ya kena terus sama gue kalau misalnya ada yang salah, dipuji kalau ada yang benar. Ya jadi ya, kita mesti tahu sekarang Indonesia lagi di mana posisinya, karena kita pengen lihat dari bangunan yang disisain sama begitu banyak presiden, termasuk Pak Jokowi, Pak Prabowo ini disisain apa, dan oleh Pak Prabowo ini mau diapain. Nah itu yang mesti kita cermati bareng-bareng. Sila akan selalu punya bahan. Itu dulu untuk sekarang, terima kasih banyak. Oh iya, kabar baik, bentar lagi Skakmat season 2 akan kembali. Baik di hari Rabu. Kabar buruknya adalah Sila Rekap, jadi nggak ada. Siapa tahu ada yang ngefans sama Sila Rekap, karena penontonnya lumayan. Sila Rekapnya akan menghilang dulu selama 10 minggu ke depan, diganti nama Skakmat season 2. Itu aja dari gua. Seperti biasa, kalau menurut lo ini oke untuk dirilis untuk umum, silakan dirilis untuk umum. Kalau nggak, gua akan tahan. Makasih banyak semuanya. Bye-bye.
Kalau ini apa?
Ya.
Pernah bantuin yang penelitian. Itu saya yang penelitian sekarang udah 2024 dibatalkan kemarin ya.
Iya.
Mau dijari ke 2025 gimana? Pindahinnya.
Oh, carry over ya. Kalau kayak gitu sih belum pernah sih, Pak.
Belum bisa.
Paling langsung tanya ke LPPM-nya gimana.
Oh, berarti ya harus tanya. Terus kalau ini saya mau nambah apa? Laporan.
Kenapa, Pak?
Kok saya cari-cari untuk nama itu kan laporan itu kan ininya harus di upload. Untuk nguploadnya nggak ada juga sih.
Di LPPM nggak bisa, Pak? Di lamannya LPPM nggak bisa? Saya cek dulu, Pak.
Isinya nggak ada sih.
Iya, ternyata dia ternyata ini dimasukkan ke hasil riset jadi memang salah satunya oke. Sekarang kalau yang dia oke, Bandit
Bubble. Sebentar, Pak.
oke, udah diganti yang nggak apa-apa, yang penting ini aja ya, bahasa Indonesia nggak apa-apa, ini karena Mbak Buka kan sudah kembali di dokter kasihnya singkat. Sekarang apa ada
Ini kan ini. Iya, iya. Ini yang untuk laporan akhir ini. Saya mau masukin laporan akhir. Tapi udah datang. Makanya begini. Iya ini. Saya mau masukin laporan. Oh ini. Hah? Penyertaannya 2024, tata jawabannya 2000, tapi dilaksanakan tahun 2024 ini. Oh ini yang tahun kedua, kita yang tahun kedua ini.